Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of Caydgaming. Today I am very excited to share with you Dungeon Clawler. This is a really cool combination of ideas here. This is a roguelike game where you use a claw to gather items that you will then use to attack or defend or heal yourself. This is an early demo. The game is not yet released. They call it an early alpha. I think it seems semi-polished. I really like it. I think it's totally worth introducing to you. So go ahead, grab a coffee, and let's dive right in. I already did one playthrough with Sir Bun a lot. I am actually going to go ahead though and play a whole new one with him, so you guys can kind of see. To play, I'll show you guys in game too, but WASD is how you move on the map. A and D is how you move your claw left and right. Spacebar is dropping the claw, and you can close the claw manually as well if you want to. So let's go ahead and I'll show you. So this is the overworld map where you can move left and right with WSAD. The first area, of course, is pretty straightforward. It's almost like a tutorial. The way the game works, I'm gonna move the claw left and right with A and D. And then when I'm ready, see, I see a bunch of little swords here. I'm gonna press spacebar to catch those. The fluff does nothing. Yet. And each turn I get 2 claws before they do something. So real quick before I continue, you can highlight over things to tell you what they do. So the big shield increases block by 10. Double the block if it's picked up alone. The big sword, or in this case small sword, attacks the nearest enemy for 10, deals double. I can highlight over enemies so I can see what they do as well, right? They intend to block on their turn. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna see if I can get 3 swords here. They're not gonna hit me, I don't really need the defense yet. Perfect. And then on the top right, you can see what my deck is. That is essentially the chance of items popping down into my claw machine. The game itself, so I've actually played, I think, a little over an hour already of the demo. I completed all the content they had to offer, and then it jumps into like an endless mode, which makes me really happy. And I really love it. I think it's one of those things where it's so fun because it's inventive. It is unique. It's charming. There absolutely is challenge to it. Like claw machines, they very much captured the essence of the frustration of your claw dropping something or being a little too jerky. After you beat the round, you then pick your reward. So Hand of Midas converts all fluff inside a small radius into the gold coin once per fight. Another shield or spiky shield. Gold is nice, of course. Gold's what I'm gonna use to be able to upgrade items or get rid of items, but I love the spiky shield. The spikes are cool. So I'm gonna move to the next. So see, these fire slimes are gonna hit me 3 times in a row and for 4 damage. So what I wanna start by doing, I wanna get that spike shield because the thorns never go away. So buffs in this game, right? I'm gonna keep this indefinitely and I can keep stacking it, which I think is so cool. So the idea with it essentially for me is if I do that and get enough shield, I'm not gonna take damage, but conversely, this guy's gonna kill himself by hitting me 3 times. Yeah, exactly. So it's perfect, and I didn't even take any damage. So I'm gonna do that again here, see if I can get more thorns. Now, the thorn shield itself only gives me 3 block. It's not very big. So I do wanna make sure that, you know, I'm protecting myself enough or attacking enough, so that way it'll kill itself maybe in the first hit. But see, the thorns stack, so now it's up to 10 spikes down here in the bottom left. All right, let's see. Morningstar, attack the nearest enemy, excuse me, dealing 50% of your block as damage. Lava bath bomb and the water bottle. I have done all of these before. The water bottle, to clarify, you get it, it fills up your machine with water, and then the lava bath bomb, of course, turns that water into lava, which kind of buffs the fluff inside of it. I'll go ahead, I'll take the water bottle so you guys can see it. Here, this is a reward, so I could choose. If I need healing, I could pick up all these little hearts. Weaklings, decrease the health of all enemies by 25%. That's big. This one, increase max health by 2 for each 10 coins you own. Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer here. I'm gonna go for the weaklings, and I'm gonna drop it. No! No! Oh, that is so sad. That was a big old fail on my part. What I'm going to do here, for the purpose of the video, though, I am going to go ahead and jump ahead to, like, the boss fight, so that way you guys can see. So I'll jump back here in a minute, and I'll show you what I got. All right, so here's the first boss fight. I also got a bomb, which is, it gives you the bomb buff. After 3 turns, it goes off and deals 30 damage to enemies. This sapling intends to buff itself, so I want to start out maybe by getting the damage. I just want to make sure that I can throw as much this guy's way as I can, you know, get the round started, because bosses really ramp. So I mentioned the buffs, right? The spiky thorns on me, those will keep stacking. The same applies to enemies. And this guy, ironically, he also does spikes. So he'll keep buffing spikes, you know, every other turn. So that is something you really want to be cognizant of, because at some point, if you don't shield yourself, you're going to be hurting yourself every time you hit that enemy. So I'm going to keep getting the bombs as well. Of course, I want to make sure that I am all good. So this game is a roguelike in terms of you have chances to get, you know, different upgrades as you play. You're not sure exactly what you're going to get from different rooms, treasure chests, end of combat rewards, like you name it. I think one thing the game, of course, still hasn't had implemented, and I'm sure they will implement, again, this is an alpha demo, just so everybody knows, but one thing they haven't implemented is the meta currency. There isn't really a format yet for you to, how do I put it? There is not a format yet for you to upgrade your character after a playthrough. There's no way for me, for example, to say permanently increase your character's max health every time you die and restart, you know? Ooh. So this, because it's a boss, these are permanent for the playthrough, but not overall. So these are not going to be weapons, but rather when you take damage, 1 remaining item from your deck is added to the machine. I always like that. That's helpful. Natural strength. Start each fight with 3 strength and gain 1 strength every time you receive damage. I wonder if this is like, it keeps adding, or if that's every time you take damage in combat. Because if so, I don't know. I'm going to take it anyways. Let's do it. So area 2, right? This means the floor will break, so I can either go down and try and upgrade using coins, or I can go up and go for the pachinko machine. Pachinko's always fun, so I'm gonna go for that. And you can see they've introduced new bad guys with new mechanics as well. I think it's super fun. Ways that they could improve. I think something I really love about the game is they've really captured the essence of the frustration of a claw. I think there needs to be definitely maybe some upgrades available in the future to maybe get a 3rd claw opportunity or more stability so they don't jerk around as much or they move a little slower. I think as well maybe to enlarge your claw. Things like that would help a lot, because what I found is you start with so many items and you need them for sure. I mean, like 10 daggers and 10 small shields, but at the same time, it's one of those things that's kind of like, yes, you have all those items, but now you have all this clutter in the machine. So one thing that happened, by the way, this fish guy added these little spikes. If I collect it, I will take damage. I do want to show you the water bottle as well. If you pick up this water bottle, it actually causes all of the non-metal items to float. I don't know, like, here's the thing. I don't know if that's a buff, like for better or for worse, because these now, all of your wooden items will always be at the top. All the fluff floats too, so you're ending up getting more fluff and you're not getting your weapons anymore. So I'm not sure that this is the play personally, but I could be wrong. The nice thing though is, like, for example, if I get that lava bath bomb, it turns all this into lava and all the fluff becomes an attack, which is really, really cool. I love that a lot. I'm gonna see if I can, let's see if I can like do this and get some of those swords at the bottom. Yeah, like once you put the water in there, it's kind of impossible for you to really get the swords at the bottom anymore. You just get a bunch of shields. So I guess the water bottles are really good if your build is water, you know? Here we go. Outside of that, other things, I think, obviously, again, the game is an alpha, so I'm not at all critical. I think this game is super fun. I have found myself playing this all the time. I have a free 15 minutes. I'm going to play it, see what I can do. What I do love a lot, I personally think that it is tremendously fun to think of the chance, to always know, hey, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to catch the item I'm trying to catch at the bottom. One other thing, rewards like this, so I know you can reroll for 6. I love the roguelike that says, hey, instead of skipping or rerolling, if there's a third option that says, take like 6 coins as a reward instead, I think that would be great, because often, you know, I'm not interested in these, or I'm like, you know, I have too much in my inventory just to start, I don't want to add more type thing. So that's one thing I would maybe recommend the developers to do. The other thing too, I think really would be, I think if you could find a way to maybe give a little more of like a sound response, for example, maybe. Right now there isn't really a lot of feedback in movement. There isn't a lot of feedback in picking stuff up. I don't want, of course, obnoxious, super loud sounds, you know, when you're hitting and getting hit, but I know right now they still maybe need to add sound. I do love the music. The music is great. It's high energy. I found myself vibing at like 11 at night just to this fast beat music. It's great. Okay, let me show you guys Pachinko. So the way that this works, you choose to play, you have to spend 12 to play, so I can only try this once. If I win, I get the battle axe. So I'll play for you guys. I choose where I'm gonna drop it, and I need it to fall down into this bucket. It is way harder than it looks. I thought there would be like a good strategy, but I haven't figured it out, because it's Pachinko. You know, there are chances it's gonna bounce ways you don't want it to bounce. I am sure over time, when you play this game, people will probably discover something, but until that time, I am struggling on that one. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna skip to the next boss, right, for you guys too, so that way you can see just a little bit more of like a harder combat as well. And know that in this demo, there are 5 different floors, and then it goes into infinite mode. I love it so much. It is very cool, very fun. So I'll go ahead, I'll bounce forward to this boss, and I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, here we are at the next boss. The only thing you missed, I got a lucky stick, which attacks the nearest enemy for 1 to 15 damage. Here we go. So I'm gonna try and get some armor early. Ooh, yeah, that was a big old fail. He's gonna upgrade himself somehow, so I wanna make sure that I can kind of get this going. I think the play for me in this build so far is to keep getting bombs and then build up armor, build up thorns, so that basically I don't take damage, but simultaneously the bombs are gonna poof the enemy for me, basically. Ooh, yeah, that was rough. The boss buffed himself. Persistent armor block does not reset between turns, so essentially he can keep stacking up armor, which I think is pretty big for him. In fights like this, it benefits to get items that either ignore armor or items that would otherwise destroy armor. There are items that do both. I haven't quite seen any items that purge yet. Nothing that could like remove this buff, because he will keep this buff permanently. So it is something of a DPS race for sure. I think something so cool to me about this game that they really have thought of everything. You know, there are enemies, for example, oops, oh, double tapped spacebar. Oh no, that's embarrassing. Yeah, well, that gave us some strength, but now we're also hurting. One of the things that I really love, and I do think they really have thought out a lot, what I was saying was, you know, the fact that you can have enemies that are, for example, a debuff for you would be they will enlarge your items in the thing, so you can grab fewer. Another thing, adding in damaging items that hurt you if you gather them, adding more fluff, so that way there's less buffs for you when you pick them up, that type of thing too. I think it's a really cool thing that really just shows the devs have thought through everything. It's great. On the flip side, the buffs, same thing. I think it's really cool that they have a lot of buffs. I would love to see maybe a buff that is the inverse, right? A buff that reduces the amount of fluff that you get in each run, or perhaps a buff that is I don't know, let's just say, reduces the size of all the items so you can pick up more within your claws. Stuff like that I think would be a great concept. They've definitely thought through a lot in the random encounters as well. You know, this might happen, that might happen. Gather this, you name it. There are some where you have to use your claw machine to make it successful, and I really appreciate that. I think it is really, really fun to see them basically lean fully into the claw machine mechanic. It makes me very, very happy. I think there is a good amount of challenge. As you can see, this build is maybe not working out as well for me so far, as I am kind of on the struggle bus with this boss. I have not gotten any form of healing yet, unfortunately, so that's a little bit bad, but that's okay. We may be able to survive this one. We're just gonna have to really keep stacking armor and thorns and see if we can survive a few more hits, basically. Here we go. He is going to... Ooh, lucky stick. Come on, don't fail me now. Yeah, that did 18. That's awesome. Okay. I just gotta keep stacking armor and hope that I can kind of handle these hits. See if I can maybe get these. And maybe we'll survive. Yeah, we are. It is not looking good, guys. Well, let's see what we can do here. If we need to, let's get that water going. It is hard. I know some of the shields are a little bigger, so sometimes it's just really, really hard to get enough. If I get only the shield here, yes, that'll give me, I think, 20 armor because it's the only one. Yeah, that's perfect. So now we're not taking a hit. All right, perfect. And the bomb went off. So let's see if we can just hit him. Let's just, oops. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's really embarrassing. Okay. Can we take it home? Don't feel me now, lucky stick. 7. That was just enough. We are alive by like a hair. By a hair. Increase the range of magnets. We don't have magnets yet, unfortunately. Increase the amount of fluff in the machine by 10. That is good if I didn't have water. The first item each turn is used twice. That feels really good. And it also encourages me to maybe focus on some of the bigger items first. Fluff would be awesome. If I was able to buff the fluff. I'm gonna stop the game here and leave the rest up to you, but that's the game. Comment below, let me know what you thought. Again, this is Dungeon Clawler. It's available on Steam as a demo. It's getting released later this year in 2024. If you like this video, of course, please don't forget to click that like button. Comment below if you'd like to see more, if you'd like to see the other character, if you're excited for this. Help support the indie developers by wishlisting the game. They always appreciate it. It helps give their game a little bit of traction. It's all good for them. And of course for me, if you like what you see, please click that subscribe button. It helps me so much. There are new videos released twice each week on Tuesdays and Fridays. My name is Cade. I hope you enjoyed your coffee, and happy gaming.